Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Channel. Tonight, we wander into one of the oldest stories written into life on Earth. Long before cities, and even before forests as we know them, creatures were already watching, listening, stalking, and escaping. Somewhere in the tall grass, a hunter waits. Somewhere nearby, another animal is listening for the faintest rustle that might mean danger. This endless exchange has shaped bodies, senses, and instincts across hundreds of millions of years. Speed, camouflage, venom, teamwork, and patience all grew from the same simple question. How do you survive when something else is trying to catch you, or when your own survival depends on catching another? Across oceans, deserts, jungles, and skies, predator and prey have been quietly sculpting the living world together. Every leap, every warning call, every hidden color tells part of that story. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, simply settle in and get comfortable. Let your shoulders soften and allow your breathing to slow. And let the day gently fade away as we explore this fascinating dance between hunter and hunted together. Let's begin. Predators and prey have shaped each other for hundreds of millions of years. This contest began so early in the history of life that it helped build the living world we know. In ancient seas, animals were already developing shells, spines, jaws, speed, and sharper senses, because survival depended on the next encounter. A hunter that became better at seizing food pushed its targets to become harder to catch. Then those improvements pushed the hunter again. Over vast stretches of time, that back and forth pressure produced armor on trilobites, crushing mouthparts in marine predators, and later the teeth, claws, hooves, horns, and alert nervous systems that fill the fossil record. It is one of evolution's great engines. Life did not simply diversify at random. It was tested, refined, and challenged by pursuit and escape. Every stalking cat and every watchful antelope carries traces of that deep history in its body, its instincts, and the split-second choices that still decide who eats and who escapes. Every forest and ocean is built on the tension between hunter and hunted. What looks peaceful from a distance is often a place of constant decision. A deer choosing where to graze is weighing hunger against risk. A fish leaving cover to feed is entering a zone where something larger may be waiting. Because of that pressure, animals do not move through habitats freely. They follow safe routes, feed at certain hours, pause in exposed places, and cluster where danger is lower. Those choices ripple outward. Plants get browsed in some places and spared in others. Smaller animals gather near cover. Scavengers wait for leftovers. Even the timing of birdsong and the paths animals tread can reflect the possibility of attack. In the ocean, reefs, kelp forests, and open water all carry the same invisible tension. Life is arranged not only by food and weather, but by fear, opportunity, and the constant calculation of whether the next mouthful is worth the chance of becoming one. The fastest animals on Earth evolved because something was trying to catch them. Speed is thrilling to watch, but it is really a record of danger. When a gazelle explodes into motion or a falcon folds its wings into a dive, you are seeing the outcome of countless past chases. On open ground, there is nowhere to hide, so fractions of a second matter. Limbs lengthen, spines flex, lungs and hearts grow more capable. Muscles become tuned for sudden bursts or long pursuit. Yet raw speed is only part of the story. A cheetah can reach astonishing pace, but only for a short distance before heat and exhaustion rise. Prey must survive that narrow window which is why agility, timing, and early reactions matter so much. Pronghorns in North America may still carry the legacy of escaping predators that no longer exist there, preserving extraordinary speed from an older world. Fast animals are not simply built to move quickly. They are built by pressure, panic, and the razor edge between capture and escape. Some prey survive by spotting danger before the predator even moves. For many animals, survival begins long before a chase. It begins with a twitch in the grass, a broken outline, or a shadow that does not belong. Prey species often live in a state of practiced attention, scanning while they feed, rest, or travel. Deer lift their heads between bites. Pigeons peck, then pause to look. Antelope read posture and direction from far away, because knowing whether a distant shape is resting, watching, or preparing to spring can decide everything. Vision plays a huge role here. Many prey animals have eyes set wide on the sides of the head, giving them broad panoramic awareness. They may sacrifice depth perception, but they gain precious warning. Hearing and smell add even more layers. The result is not constant panic, but constant evaluation. The wild is full of animals making tiny judgments every moment. Most of the time, nothing happens. Yet the ones that guessed wrong are the ones least likely to pass on their caution. Some predators succeed by becoming almost perfectly invisible to their victims. Many hunters do not win by outrunning their targets. They win by vanishing into the background until the final instant. A tiger in dry grass can seem to dissolve into shadow and stem. A stonefish on the sea floor can look like part of the reef. Ambush depends on delay, patience, and the ability to erase clear edges that would trigger alarm. Color helps, but shape matters too. Bodies flatten, patterns break outlines, and movement becomes so slow that they barely register. Some predators even approach from angles that reduce the chance of being noticed, using light, cover, or current in their favor. This strategy can save enormous energy. Rather than chasing at great cost, an ambush hunter waits for prey to enter the fatal zone. Then, everything happens at once. The strike is sudden because it must be. Success often depends on the victim realizing the truth only when escape is already too late. A single wolf pack can change the shape of an entire landscape. Predators do more than remove prey from a population. They can alter where prey feels safe enough to linger, and that change can spread through an ecosystem in surprising ways. Wolves are one of the clearest examples. When elk know they may be approached near riverbanks or open valleys, they spend less time browsing in those places. That can give young trees and shrubs a better chance to grow. More woody plants can help stabilize banks, shade streams, and create habitat for birds, insects, and small mammals. In places like Yellowstone, scientists have debated the exact strength of each effect, but the broader lesson is striking. Large predators can influence behavior as well as numbers, and behavior can reshape the land itself. A pack moving through its territory is not only hunting, it is redistributing caution. That caution changes feeding patterns, movement routes, and resting spots, turning fear into a force that reaches far beyond the teeth of the hunt itself. Many prey animals survive not by fighting, but by confusing the attack. Escaping does not always mean outrunning danger. Sometimes the goal is to disrupt the predator's aim for a second, because a second can be enough. Fish schools flash and turn together so that an attacker struggles to isolate one body from many. Zebras running in a herd may create a storm of stripes and motion that makes it harder to judge speed and direction. Some butterflies suddenly reveal bright patches on their wings, startling a bird into hesitation. Other animals dart unpredictably, split apart, bunch together, or erupt from cover in a way that overloads the hunter's timing. These tactics work because predation is often a matter of precision. A lion does not simply leap at a cloud of moving shapes. It must commit to one target. A hawk must lock onto a path through space. Confusion breaks that lock. In the wild, survival can depend less on strength than on ruining someone else's plan at exactly the right moment. Venom, speed, camouflage, and fear all began as survival tools. These dramatic features can seem unrelated, but they are answers to the same ancient pressure. Venom lets a small animal overcome prey or discourage attack without wrestling for control. Speed shortens the dangerous gap between threat and safety. Camouflage buys time by preventing detection in the first place. Fear, which can sound like a weakness, is one of the most useful tools of all. It keeps animals from feeding too long in exposed places, crossing open ground carelessly, or ignoring suspicious movement. In that sense, fear is a finely tuned survival system shaped by natural selection. It is not merely an emotion. It is information carried through the body. Hearts race, muscles ready, attention narrows, and choices change. Across species, these traits took different forms, but they all emerged because the stakes were so high. In the struggle between hunter and hunted, even hesitation, coloration, and chemistry became technologies of staying alive one encounter longer. Predator and prey are locked in one of nature's oldest arms races. An arms race in nature does not mean machines or metal. It means one side improves, which forces the other side to improve in response. Better claws reward thicker hides. Better hearing rewards quieter movement. Stronger toxins reward resistance. Faster reflexes reward better ambush. This process has no final winner because each advance changes the conditions for the next round. Rough-skinned newts and the snakes that eat them offer a striking example. In some regions, the newts carry powerful toxins, while local garter snakes have evolved resistance strong enough to survive eating them. Yet that resistance can come with costs, such as slower movement. Evolution is full of trade-offs like that. Every advantage is shaped by what it costs and what it counters. The result is a world of exquisite adaptations that only make full sense when seen as replies to earlier threats. Nature is not static. It is a conversation of pressure, response, and renewed pressure that has been unfolding for ages. Even the shape of your eyes reveals whether you evolved to hunt or watch. Eye placement tells a quiet story about how an animal meets the world. Predators often have forward-facing eyes, which allows strong depth perception. That makes it easier to judge distance during a leap, strike, or chase. Primates, cats, owls, and many other hunters benefit from this overlap in vision because timing and accuracy matter so much. Prey animals often place their eyes farther to the sides of the head. That arrangement gives a much wider field of view, sometimes so broad that very little can approach unseen. The trade-off is weaker binocular vision straight ahead, but for an animal that must detect danger from almost any direction, that is often worthwhile. There are exceptions and variations, of course, because nature rarely fits into one rule. Still, the pattern is powerful. A skull can hint at an entire lifestyle. Before an animal moves, its face may already tell you whether it was built to pursue a target or to notice one coming. Zebras may confuse attacking lions by moving as one striped blur. A zebra standing alone is easy to recognize. A whole herd in motion is something else entirely. When dozens of striped bodies bunch, wheel, and surge together, the visual scene becomes far harder for a lion to pass. The hunter is not chasing a pattern. It is trying to lock onto one animal, judge its path, and time the leap. Stripes may help disrupt that task when everything starts moving at once. Scientists still debate exactly how much the pattern matters during a chase, but the broader effect of coordinated movement is clear. Herding turns many vulnerable individuals into a shifting puzzle. Dust rises. Hooves thunder. Bodies cross and recross one another. A young or slower animal may still be singled out, yet the attack becomes more difficult than it would be against one exposed target. What looks beautiful to us may also be part of the survival strategy, where confusion buys the seconds that mean life. Owls hunt in near silence because their feathers break up turbulence. Most birds announce themselves to the air. Wings beat, feathers rush, and the movement makes sound. Owls are different. The leading edges of their flight feathers are fringed in a way that helps break up the turbulence that would otherwise create noise. Their plumage is also unusually soft, which further muffles the sound of passage. The result is astonishing. An owl can cross a dark field with such little noise that a mouse may hear almost nothing until the final strike. This is not only useful for surprise, it also protects the owl's own hearing. Many owls locate prey by faint rustles under grass, leaves, or snow. Loud wing noise would interfere with that delicate acoustic picture. So the owl flies through darkness with a body built both to conceal and to listen. It is a rare combination, a predator shaped to move like a shadow while hearing the tiny world below with extraordinary precision. Moths can hear bat sonar and dodge in mid-air. Night can seem calm to human senses, but above fields and treetops, it may be full of invisible sound. Hunting bats send out high-frequency calls and build a picture from the returning echoes. Many moths evolved ears that can detect those ultrasonic cries, which means they may know a bat is near before they ever see it. Once that alarm is triggered, the response can be dramatic. Some moths veer suddenly, dive, spiral, or drop toward the ground in erratic motion that makes interception harder. Others may react differently depending on how intense the sound is, treating distant calls as caution and close calls as an emergency. A few tiger moths go even further and produce clicks that can warn bats of bad taste or disrupt the attack itself. What sounds silent to us is, for these animals, a fast-moving duel of sound, nerves, and split-second flight. The darkness is listening, and so is the prey. Some snakes smell prey with tongues instead of noses. When a snake flicks its tongue, it is not tasting the air in the simple way people often imagine. It is collecting tiny chemical particles from the environment and delivering them to a specialized organ in the roof of the mouth called the Jacobson's organ. That system lets the snake sample the world with remarkable sensitivity. Because the tongue has two tips, it can even compare differences from one side to the other and gain directional clues about where a scent trail is stronger. In effect, the snake is reading the invisible traces left by passing animals. A mouse that crossed the ground moments earlier may have laid down a chemical path. A hidden lizard may betray itself through faint cues that drift through grass or leaf litter. Vision matters for many snakes, and heat sensing matters for some, but this chemical tracking system is one of the most elegant hunting tools in the animal world. It turns scent into a map. Meerkats post sentries because one lookout can save the whole group. Life in the open can be dangerous when threats may come from land or sky. Meerkats solve part of that problem with cooperation. While others dig, forage, or handle food, one individual often stands upright on a mound, rock, or fallen branch and watches. That sentry is not merely being cautious. It is buying time for everyone else. A warning bark at the right moment can send the group darting into burrows before an eagle drops or a jackal closes in. Researchers have found that different calls can communicate different kinds of danger, which helps the group respond more effectively. The presence of a guard also changes behavior. When sentries are on duty, foragers can spend more time feeding and less time scanning the horizon themselves. That means vigilance becomes a shared resource. In a harsh environment, one pair of alert eyes can improve survival for many mouths. It is a powerful reminder that prey do not survive only through speed, but through trust. A rabbit can see almost all the way around itself. A rabbit lives in a world where danger may arrive from above, behind, or the side, with almost no warning. Its wide-set eyes help solve that problem by giving it an enormous field of view. Without turning its head much at all, it can monitor nearly the full circle around its body. That panoramic awareness is one reason rabbits so often seem tense and ready to spring. They are built to notice motion quickly, especially the kind that suggests a fox, hawk, or other fast-approaching threat. There is a cost, of course. With eyes placed so far apart, the area of strong depth perception in front is narrower than in many predators. Yet for an animal that survives by detecting trouble early, broad awareness is usually the better bargain. The rabbit's body reflects that strategy everywhere, from powerful hind legs to ears that swivel and listen. It is not armed for combat. It is designed for the first warning. Cheetahs win with acceleration, but many prey survive by turning sharply. A cheetah is famous for top speed, yet the most decisive part of its hunt may be the first explosive burst. It launches with astonishing acceleration, trying to close the gap before its target can fully escape. That makes the opening seconds of the chase especially dangerous. Still, prey are not simply outrun. Many survive by doing what the cheetah struggles to do at full stretch, changing direction sharply and unpredictably. A nimble gazelle can cup sideways, swerve, or twist just as the hunter commits its weight forward. Those movements force the cheetah to brake, adjust, and spend energy. Since the chase is expensive and brief, every failed adjustment matters. The contest is not merely fast against slow. It is straight-line power against agility under pressure. When people picture these hunts, they often imagine pure velocity deciding the outcome. In reality, the escape may depend on a single turn made at exactly the instant when the predator can least afford it. Schooling fish survive because a crowd is harder to target. In open water, isolation can be deadly. A lone fish is easy to track, easy to pursue, and easy to separate from safety. In a school, that clarity disappears. Hundreds or thousands of bodies move in close coordination, flashing light, changing direction, and presenting a predator with far too many options at once. This creates what scientists often call the confusion effect. The hunter has trouble selecting one target and keeping it selected as the whole group bends and ripples together. There are other benefits too. More eyes can detect danger earlier, and the chance that any one individual will be the one taken may fall when so many others surround it. Some predators have evolved tactics to counter this, slashing through the mass or driving it into tighter formations, but the basic advantage remains powerful. A school is not just a collection of fish. It is a defensive machine built from timing, spacing, and the shared power of moving as though many bodies briefly became one. Dragonflies catch prey with a success rate most big cats cannot match. Dragonflies may look delicate beside lions and leopards, yet as hunters, they are astonishingly efficient. They do not simply chase what they see. Their brains perform rapid calculations that allow them to predict where a moving target will be and intercept it along that path. This means they often fly not directly behind prey, but on a trajectory that keeps the angle of pursuit stable until the two paths meet. It is a remarkably elegant solution, especially for an animal with a tiny nervous system. Large compound eyes help by detecting motion in nearly all directions, while 4 independently controlled wings allow fine adjustments in speed, lift, and direction. The result is a predator that can snatch mosquitoes, flies, and other insects from the air with startling consistency. For prey, Escape means surviving an attack from something that combines speed, maneuverability, and predictive tracking. In a summer meadow, one of the most advanced aerial hunters on Earth may be no bigger than your finger. Some spiders lure prey by vibrating webs like trapped insects. Not every spider waits passively for chance to deliver dinner. Some species actively manipulate the signals that other creatures are trained to notice. In the web of another spider, the right vibration can sound like a struggling insect or a small disturbance worth investigating. Predatory spiders that invade these webs may pluck or tremble the silk in carefully patterned ways, drawing the resident closer until it comes within reach. What follows is less like a simple trap and more like deception through touch. The victim is not responding to sight or smell first. It is responding to information carried through strands of silk, which for web-building spiders is one of the main ways the world is perceived. That makes the trick especially effective. The hunter exploits the other spider's own sensory system, turning its expectations against it. In this tiny drama, survival depends on interpreting vibrations correctly, because the wrong message can lead straight to the mouthparts waiting at the center. Arctic hares turn white because being seen can mean being eaten. For an Arctic hare, winter is not only cold, it is bright, exposed, and dangerous. Snow stretches across the land with very little cover, which means any dark body moving over it can stand out from a remarkable distance. By turning white in the colder months, these hares become much harder for predators to pick out against the frozen ground. Foxes, wolves, and birds of prey all hunt with sharp senses, and on open tundra, the difference between blending in and standing out can be fatal. The change is not magic or instant. It follows seasonal shifts in day length that trigger the growth of new fur suited to the coming landscape. When the match is good, the animal seems to fade into the world around it. When climate patterns shift and snow arrives late or melts early, that protection can fail. In a place with almost nowhere to hide, color itself becomes a life-saving shield. Leaf insects survive by looking less alive than the leaves around them. Some defenses work by making an animal hard to identify. Leaf insects go further and make themselves seem unreal as animals at all. Their bodies mimic the shape, color, and even the imperfect edges of leaves so convincingly that a searching predator may pass over them without a second glance. Some resemble healthy foliage, while others appear browned, torn, or partly decayed, which makes the disguise even more persuasive. Their behavior deepens the illusion. They often remain almost motionless, and when they do move, they may sway in a way that resembles vegetation stirred by air. To a bird scanning branches for food, recognition is everything. It must notice a body as a body. Leaf insects exploit the gap between looking and truly seen. They do not need to outrun attack if attack never begins. It is one of the most extraordinary examples of survival through imitation, where the safest way to remain alive is to appear less alive than the plant beside you. Some caterpillars wear fake eyes to frighten predators into hesitation. A hungry bird does not have much time to waste. It scans, chooses, and strikes quickly. That is exactly why false signals can work so well. Some caterpillars carry markings that resemble large eyes, and when threatened, they may rear up or inflate part of the body, so those marks become suddenly more obvious. For a brief instant, the soft little insect can seem far larger or more dangerous than it really is. A predator that expected an easy meal may hesitate, and that hesitation is valuable. In nature, many attacks succeed because they unfold faster than the prey can respond. If the prey can interrupt that flow for even a moment, the chance of escape rises sharply. Not every bird is fooled every time, and the exact effect varies across species, but the strategy is elegant. These caterpillars do not fight with strength. They fight with perception, turning the imagination of the attacker into part of their defense. Octopuses can change color, texture, and shape in seconds. An octopus does not rely on one disguise. It can shift several layers of appearance almost at once. Specialized cells in the skin expand or contract to alter color and pattern, while muscular structures can raise bumps and ridges so the surface looks rough like rock, smooth like sand, or tangled like algae. On top of that, the animal can change posture, gathering its arms tightly or spreading them in ways that transform its outline. The result is less like wearing camouflage and more like becoming a new object. A predator searching a reef may fail not because the octopus is hidden behind something, but because it has merged with the visual language of the habitat itself. This ability also helps while hunting, allowing the octopus to approach crabs, fish, and other prey without announcing danger too soon. It is one of the most astonishing acts of concealment in the natural world, performed by a soft-bodied animal with no shell and very little room for mistakes. Countershading makes many animals look flatter and harder to notice. Light usually falls from above. That simple fact creates a powerful problem for any animal trying not to be seen. A rounded body catches brightness on top and shadow underneath, which makes it look solid and easy to detect. Countershading helps weaken that effect. Many animals are darker on the upper side and paler below, which offsets the natural pattern of light and shadow. Seen from a distance, the body appears less three-dimensional and less obvious against the background. This kind of camouflage is widespread because it works in many environments, from open water to grassland to woodland. A deer, a fish, or a bird may still be visible, but the visual clues that announce shape are reduced. Predators often search first for outlines, volume, and contrast. Countershading interferes with those cues in a subtle way. It is not as dramatic as stripes or spots, yet it is one of the quiet design tricks that helps living bodies avoid becoming instantly legible. Some prey freeze because stillness can be safer than running. Running feels like the obvious answer to danger, but movement can also reveal exactly where you are. Many predators are highly tuned to notice sudden motion, which means bolting at the wrong moment can trigger the attack you hoped to avoid. That is why some prey species freeze first. A hare in cover, a deer in shadow, or a small bird against bark may rely on stillness to remain just below the threshold of recognition. The body locks, breathing may slow, and every muscle waits for the next cue. This is not indecision. It is a calculated strategy shaped by the way hunters search. If the predator comes closer or the disguise fails, the prey may then explode into motion. But the first line of defense is often to become visually silent. In that instant, survival depends on restraint rather than speed. The animal is gambling that not being noticed is better than being noticed and chased, and often that gamble is correct. Tigers vanish in tall grass because stripes mimic shadow and stem. A tiger is one of the most striking animals on Earth when seen clearly. In its own habitat, it can be astonishingly difficult to detect. The vertical bars across its body break up the outline in a way that echoes reeds, stems, and alternating bands of light and shade. Instead of presenting one solid orange shape, the coat fragments the body into pieces the eye does not easily assemble. This matters because many of the animals a tiger hunts are alert, wary, and constantly scanning for danger. If the outline remains incomplete until the last few moments, the predator gains precious distance. The effect is strongest in vegetation where light is uneven and the background itself is full of narrow vertical forms. The tiger does not disappear completely. Rather, it delays recognition long enough for stealth to work. That delay can decide the hunt. What humans admire as beauty is also a precision tool, tuned for closing the gap without being understood too soon. Flounders disappear against the seafloor like living pieces of sand. A flounder begins life looking much more like an ordinary fish. But as it grows, one of the strangest transformations in the animal kingdom takes place. The body flattens for life along the bottom, and one eye migrates so both end up on the side that faces upward. This allows the fish to lie pressed against the sea floor while still watching the world above. Once there, its camouflage can be remarkable. Many flounders adjust their coloration to match sand, gravel, or mottled sediment, making the body blend so well that only the eyes may betray it. This protects the fish from predators, but it also helps in ambush. Small prey moving overhead may not realize they are crossing above a waiting mouth. The flounder's whole existence is built around this hidden posture. It is not simply a fish that rests on the seabed. It is an animal reshaped by the demands of concealment, half buried in plain sight, where danger and opportunity pass overhead. Some frogs flash bright colors only when danger gets too close. Not all warning colors are meant to be seen all the time. Some frogs stay relatively inconspicuous until the moment of crisis, then suddenly reveal vivid patches on the legs, belly, or flanks as they leap away. The effect can be startling. A predator expecting one kind of target is confronted with an abrupt burst of color that may cause confusion or hesitation. Then, when the frog lands and folds those bright areas out of view again, the animal can seem to vanish into the background. This creates a strange visual puzzle. The attacker sees a flash, tracks it, and then loses the signal at the crucial moment. In some species, the colors may also advertise unprofitability. But even without that message, the sudden change itself can disrupt pursuit. It is a defense built on timing rather than constant display. The frog remains modest until the last instant, then uses surprise as part of escape, revealing that concealment and spectacle can work together. Even eggs use camouflage to survive hungry eyes from above. Long before a chick can run, hide, or call for help, survival may depend on whether the egg itself can avoid attention. Ground-nesting birds face a brutal problem. Their eggs often sit exposed in open places where foxes, crows, gulls, and other predators search visually from the land or the air. Natural selection has shaped extraordinary solutions. Many eggs are speckled, blotched, or tinted in ways that match pebbles, soil, dried grass, or dappled shade. These patterns are not random decoration. They break up the outline and help the clutch merge with the nest surroundings. In some species, the parent's behavior adds another layer, remaining still when danger passes nearby or choosing nesting sites where the eggs are hardest to distinguish. To us, an egg may seem delicate and passive. In reality, it is already part of the evolutionary contest. Before the animal inside has even opened its eyes, it is relying on disguise to make it through the most vulnerable days of life. Gazelles leap high to signal that a chase will be wasted. When a gazelle suddenly springs high into the air with stiff legs, it is not simply fleeing in panic. That dramatic leap, often called stotting or pronking, may act as a message. It tells a predator that this target is alert, healthy, and ready for a hard chase. For a hunter, that matters. Chases cost energy, create heat, and carry the risk of failure or injury. If the prey has already shown excellent condition, the smartest decision may be to look for something weaker, younger, or less prepared. In that sense, the leap can function like an honest advertisement of fitness. It is a strange moment in nature because the prey is not hiding its strength. It is displaying it. What looks theatrical to us may actually be a cold calculation shaped by evolution. The gazelle is saying, in effect, the pursuit will be expensive and probably fruitless, and sometimes that warning is enough to prevent the chase from beginning at all. Some lizards drop their tails to buy a few seconds of life. A predator lunges, jaws close, and what it catches keeps writhing. But the lizard is already gone. In many species, the tail can break away along built-in fracture planes when seized. after separation, the detached tail may twitch, jerk, and flop with surprising vigor, which can hold the predator's attention at the worst possible moment for the hunter and the best possible moment for the prey. Those few seconds are often everything. The lizard darts under a rock, into a crevice, or beneath vegetation, while the attacker is still distracted by movement. This escape comes at a cost. The tail stores energy in many species, and losing it can reduce speed, social standing, or future survival until it regrows. The replacement is often simpler than the original. Even so, evolution has favored the sacrifice, because keeping the tail is worthless if the body does not survive. It is one of nature's starkest bargains, surrendering a part to save the whole. Hares outrun many hunters, but zigzagging saves them more often. A hare built for open country has powerful hind legs and astonishing acceleration, yet pure speed is only part of its escape plan. During pursuit, many hares veer sharply, double back, and change direction in abrupt, unpredictable ways. That matters because predators often commit their momentum in a straight line. A fox, lynx, or dog-like hunter may be fast, but every turn costs time and balance. The hare uses that weakness. Instead of trying to win a simple race, it turns the chase into a contest of timing and angles. On uneven ground or through vegetation, those sudden shifts can be even more effective because the prey already knows how to use the terrain. To us, it may look chaotic, but the pattern has deep logic. A moving target is hard enough. A target that keeps rewriting its path is far worse. In many hunts, escape belongs not to the animal with the highest speed, but to the one that makes itself hardest to predict. Musk oxen face outward because circles turn panic into defense. On the Arctic tundra, running is not always the best answer. Musk oxen are large, heavily built, and often accompanied by calves that cannot simply outrun danger across open ground. When threatened by wolves, they may form a defensive ring or line with adults facing outward and the young sheltered in the middle. It is an impressive transformation. Animals that might seem vulnerable as scattered individuals become a wall of horns, hooves, and watchful faces. This formation denies predators the easy target they need. A wolf pack depends on movement, separation, and confusion. The circle resists all three. There is no straggler drifting away. There is no exposed center. Every approach meets a barrier. The strategy is ancient and powerful, especially in places where cover is scarce and cooperation matters more than sprinting. What could have become disorder becomes structure instead. In that moment, fear does not dissolve the group. It organizes it into something that pushes the hunt back. Pufferfish survive by becoming too large and awkward to swallow. A pufferfish looks manageable until the moment it decides not to be. When threatened, many species rapidly draw water into a highly expandable stomach and balloon into a much larger, rounder shape. That sudden transformation can make the fish difficult or impossible for a predator to grasp properly, and even harder to swallow. A hunter adapted for streamlined prey may find itself facing an object that no longer fits the expected rules of size and handling. Spines in some species can add another layer, turning the swollen body into an even more troublesome mouthful. This defense is especially effective because it changes the physical problem presented to the attacker in real time. The predator commits to one meal and encounters another. Many puffers also carry powerful toxins in their tissues, which means the danger can continue even after contact. The inflation display is a vivid reminder that prey do not always escape by leaving. Sometimes they survive by becoming the wrong shape to eat. Skunks rarely need to fight because warning colors do the talking. A skunk does not benefit from surprising its enemies. In fact, the opposite is true. Its bold black and white pattern is a public announcement that coming closer may be a terrible idea. This kind of signal, called warning coloration, works best when it is easy to remember. A predator that has once been sprayed may avoid that pattern in the future, and even an inexperienced animal may hesitate if the design stands out strongly enough. The skunk often adds behavior to the message. It may stamp its feet, raise its tail, or turn its back to bring the threat display into clear view before using its chemical defense. That sequence matters because spray is valuable and not something to waste lightly. The goal is often prevention, not combat. In this way, the skunk turns reputation into protection. It survives not through speed or stealth, but through honesty. The warning is clear, the consequence is memorable, and many predators decide that dinner is not worth the lesson. Porcupine quills turn a hungry moment into a dangerous mistake. A porcupine does not need to chase, pounce, or grapple. It turns itself into a problem that predators learn to respect. The quills are modified hairs tipped with tiny barbs in some species, and when they lodge in skin or flesh, they can be difficult and painful to remove. Contrary to a common myth, porcupines do not shoot them. Instead, the danger comes when a predator bites, paws, or rushes in too close. The quills detach on contact and can end up embedded in the mouth, face, or limbs of the attacker. For a predator, that is a serious risk. An injured mouth can make future hunting harder, and infection or lasting damage may follow. This means the porcupine's defense works not only in the instant of attack, but in the memory of predators that survived the encounter. It changes the calculation before the next approach. Hunger pushes forward, experience pulls back, and often experience wins. Some sea cucumbers eject organs to distract predators and escape. Sea cucumbers do not look like dramatic survivors, yet some possess one of the strangest defenses in the ocean. When badly threatened, they can expel sticky internal tissues through the rear of the body. In some species, these threads rapidly expand and become entangling, which can gum up the mouthparts or limbs of a predator long enough for the slow-moving animal to crawl away. In others, more substantial internal organs may be cast out as part of the emergency response. It sounds catastrophic, and in one sense, it is. The animal sacrifices important tissue in a crisis. Yet many sea cucumbers can regenerate what they have lost over time, which makes the trade possible. This is survival through extreme expendability. A creature that cannot dash away or bite back instead turns its own body into a decoy and adhesive weapon. On the seafloor, where speed is limited and danger can arrive suddenly, that bizarre strategy can mean the difference between being eaten and enduring. The fainting reflex can save prey by making them seem already dead. In moments of overwhelming threat, some animals enter a state of immobility so complete that it can resemble collapse or death. This reaction is not always chosen in any conscious sense. It can be a deep defensive reflex triggered when escape seems impossible. For prey, that may sound like surrender, but under the right circumstances, it can be surprisingly effective. Some predators are stimulated by movement and active struggle. When the prey suddenly goes limp or still, the sequence of attack can falter. The hunter may loosen its grip, shift position, or become briefly uncertain about whether the target is still worth handling. That small pause can create an opening for escape if the prey revives at the right moment. The response appears in different forms across the animal kingdom, from insects to mammals. It is one of nature's strangest emergency tactics, because survival comes not from resisting harder, but from dropping out of the expected script so completely that the predator's next move is disrupted. Playing dead works because many predators prefer prey that still struggles. Death can remove the signal that tells a predator the hunt is still active. In many species, apparent lifelessness changes how the attacker handles the body, or whether it handles it at all. Some predators want fresh movement that confirms control and triggers continued biting. Others avoid carrion that might carry disease or attract competition. This creates a narrow but real opportunity for prey that can convincingly mimic death. Opossums are the famous example, entering a state so dramatic that the performance can include limp posture, open mouth, and even foul-smelling secretions. Certain snakes and insects use similar tactics in their own ways. The key is timing. The display must appear when other options have failed, and it must last until the predator's focus weakens. Then the prey must seize the instant to flee. It is a remarkable strategy because it turns the predator's preferences against it. Sometimes the best way to survive the end of a hunt is to act like it already ended. Bats hunt with sound, turning darkness into a detailed moving map. To us, night can feel like a loss of information. To a bat, it can become a world rebuilt from echoes. As it flies, the bat releases bursts of high-frequency sound and listens for the returning reflections. From those tiny delays and shifts, it can judge distance, direction, size, texture, and even movement. A moth wing, a tree branch, and a pond surface all answer differently. What emerges is not a vague sense of obstacles, but a rich acoustic picture that updates from moment to moment as the animal moves. This allows bats to chase insects through darkness with astonishing control, weaving between leaves and adjusting course in fractions of a second. Some species even change the rhythm and structure of their calls as they close in, sharpening the final approach. It is one of the most extraordinary sensory systems in nature, where sound becomes space and the invisible world turns precise enough to hunt through at full speed. Pit vipers can sense body heat like a glowing target. Some predators do not rely only on sight, smell, or sound. Pit vipers carry a remarkable extra sense. Between the eye and nostril on each side of the head sits a heat-sensitive pit organ that can detect tiny differences in infrared radiation. Warm-blooded animals do not just occupy space to these snakes. They also shine, in a sense, against cooler surroundings. In darkness or under cover, that can make a hidden mouse or bird stand out with startling clarity. The snake is not seeing heat in the human way, yet its brain can combine this thermal information with ordinary vision to guide a precise strike. This is especially useful at night, when many small mammals are active and visual cues are limited. A prey animal may remain motionless, quiet, and tucked into cover, but its body still leaks warmth into the world. The viper reads that leak like a secret signal and turns it into deadly accuracy. Sharks detect faint electric fields pulsing from hidden prey. Even when prey is buried in sand or concealed by murky water, a shark may still know it is there. Along the snout are tiny sensory structures called ampullae of Lorenzini that can detect weak electrical fields produced by muscle contractions, nerve signals, and the beating hearts of other animals. Every living body that moves creates a small electrical presence, and sharks are tuned to notice it. This gives them an extraordinary advantage in conditions where vision is unreliable. A flatfish hidden beneath sediment or a struggling fish obscured by cloudy water may still betray itself through these faint pulses. During the final moments of an attack, this sense can become especially important, guiding the shark when smell, sight, and water movement are no longer enough on their own. It is a reminder that the ocean contains signals humans rarely think about. Beneath the surface, one predator is reading an invisible layer of life that most of its prey cannot conceal. Eagles spot small mammals from heights that seem impossible. An eagle circling high above a valley may appear detached from the details below, yet its eyes can resolve astonishingly fine information at great distance. Compared with human vision, many eagles pack far more light-detecting cells into the retina, and possess optical systems built for exceptional sharpness. That means a rabbit, ground squirrel, or other small animal moving far below can stand out where we might see only texture and color. This advantage reshapes the relationship between predator and prey in open landscapes. From the ground, a field may seem broad and safe. From above, it can become a stage with very little cover. The eagle watches for movement, contrast, and opportunity, while drifting on thermals that let it search efficiently across huge areas. Then, if the moment is right, it folds its wings and drops with controlled force. For the prey, danger may begin far beyond the range where human eyes would even notice a watcher. Star-nosed moles identify prey in fractions of a second. The star-nosed mole lives in a world of mud, darkness, and cramped tunnels where sight is of little use. Its solution is one of the strangest faces in nature. Around the nose spread fleshy rays packed with an enormous number of touch receptors, turning the snout into an organ of astonishing sensitivity. As the mole searches, it taps surfaces at incredible speed, gathering information from the texture and shape of whatever lies ahead. Tiny prey such as worms or aquatic invertebrates can be recognized and seized in an almost unbelievably short time. Researchers have found that this animal is among the fastest known mammalian foragers when it comes to identifying food. It does not pause to inspect the world. It samples it in a blur of contact and decision. To us, the star may look bizarre. To the mole, it is a precision instrument built for turning darkness into certainty, where survival depends on knowing instantly what is worth eating and what is not. Crocodiles feel ripples on water that betray even careful animals. A crocodile floating almost motionless can seem like part of the river itself, yet the stillness is deceptive. Around its jaws are highly sensitive pressure receptors that can detect tiny disturbances in the water. A paddling bird, a struggling fish, or a mammal stepping into the shallows sends out ripples that travel across the surface and through the body of the river. The crocodile reads these disturbances with remarkable precision, allowing it to orient toward activity even in darkness or murky conditions. This is one reason its patience is so effective. It does not need constant movement to search. It can wait while the water carries news to its skin. That sensory ability pairs perfectly with ambush. By the time the prey recognizes the danger, the crocodile may already know exactly where to strike. In a habitat where sound, splash, and vibration travel so well, the river itself becomes part of the predator's sensory system, whispering the location of anything careless enough to disturb it. Some fish sense pressure waves before a predator actually touches water. For many fish, danger is not first seen. It is felt. Running along the sides of the body is the lateral line system, a series of sensory organs that detect changes in water movement and pressure. This allows fish to notice nearby motion with astonishing sensitivity. A predator approaching from behind, a sudden swirl from above, or the surge created by a fast opening mouth can all send signals through the water before physical contact occurs. In a dense school, this system helps individuals react almost together, producing the rapid collective turns that seem nearly instantaneous. It also matters for animals living in dim or cloudy water, where vision may fail at the crucial moment. The aquatic world is full of movement transmitted through a medium far more informative than air in certain ways. Fish are built to read that hidden traffic. Before a predator breaks the surface or closes the final gap, the water may already have carried the warning straight into the prey's nervous system. Foxes can hear rodents moving beneath deep snow. A winter field can look empty, smooth, and silent, but under the snow, a busy world may still be moving. Voles and other small rodents travel through hidden tunnels, feeding and shuffling beneath the white cover. A red fox can detect those faint sounds with extraordinary accuracy. It pauses, tilts its head, and listens, building a picture of movement below a surface it cannot see through. Then comes one of the most famous hunting leaps in the natural world. The fox springs high and dives nose first into the snow, aiming for a creature it located almost entirely by sound. Some research suggests it may even use Earth's magnetic field as an extra cue under certain conditions, which makes the feat more intriguing still. Whether or not that aid is involved in every case, the sensory precision is remarkable. What seems like a blind plunge is actually the final move in a careful acoustic hunt, guided by hearing so sharp it can target life hidden under winter itself. Jumping spiders judge distance with remarkable precision before they strike. A jumping spider does not build a web to wait for food. It hunts face to face, and that demands extraordinary visual control. Its large forward eyes provide very sharp vision for an animal so small, allowing it to study prey, track movement, and judge distance before launching. This depth assessment is crucial because a leap that falls short wastes energy and may reveal the attack too soon, while a leap that overshoots can be disastrous. The spider often pauses before the jump, almost as if thinking, but this stillness is part of the calculation. It measures, aims, and then springs with startling speed. Silk is often anchored behind as a safety line, giving the hunter a backup if the attempt goes wrong. The result is a predator that combines patience, precision, and bold action in miniature form. In a world of leaves, bark, and stems, it behaves less like a passive crawler and more like a tiny, stalking cat with 8 legs. Predators often win because their senses detect what prey cannot hide. Concealment can be brilliant and still fail, because every body leaks information into the world. Warmth escapes skin and fur. Muscles create sound. Movement disturbs air, water, grass, or sand. Hearts generate electrical signals. Chemical traces cling to footsteps and drift on currents. Predators succeed again and again because evolution has tuned them to read these leaks through very different sensory channels. One species may follow odor, another vibration, another heat, another reflected sound. This means prey are never solving just one problem. They are trying to stay hidden across multiple worlds at once: the visual world, the acoustic world, the chemical world, and more. That is almost impossible to do perfectly. A mouse hidden from sight may still rustle. A fish buried in sediment may still pulse with electricity. A bird in shadow may still shift a feather at the wrong instant. The hunt so often turns on this simple truth. Life reveals itself, and somewhere nearby, another life is built to notice. Prey animals often live in groups because many eyes beat too. For an animal that is hunted, the world becomes safer when danger can be detected sooner. That is one reason so many prey species gather in flocks, herds, shoals, and colonies. A single gazelle or pigeon can only watch in so many directions at once. In a group, vigilance is multiplied. One head lifts, then another. And soon, the whole gathering may react before the predator has come close enough to strike. This does more than improve survival in the instant. It changes daily life. Animals in groups can spend more time feeding because they do not each need to scan constantly on their own. The cost of attention is shared. There are trade-offs, of course. Groups can attract notice, competition rises, and disease may spread more easily. Yet for many prey species, the balance still favors company. In a dangerous world, safety often begins not with armor or speed, but with the simple advantage of extra witnesses. Starlings form swirling murmurations that make targeting nearly impossible. At dusk, a murmuration can look like smoke learning to think. Thousands of starlings wheel, compress, stretch, and fold across the sky in shapes that change almost too quickly to follow. To us, it is beautiful. To a falcon, it can be maddening. A predator hunting in open air must choose one bird, track that bird, and commit with precision. The flock makes that task extraordinarily hard. Every second, individuals trade positions, the mass shifts direction, and the visual scene keeps rewriting itself. The hunter faces not one clear path, but a moving puzzle of countless paths. These formations also spread risk. If attack comes, the danger is diluted across many bodies instead of resting on one exposed bird. Scientists still study exactly how local rules among neighbors create such large-scale motion, but the defensive effect is unmistakable. What seems like airborne art is also survival through coordination, where confusion itself becomes a shield made of wings. Wildebeest calves stand quickly because delay is deadly on open plains. A wildebeest calf enters a world with almost no time to be helpless. On the open plains, lions, hyenas, wild dogs, and other predators are always part of the landscape, and a newborn that cannot rise quickly is in grave danger. That is why these calves are famously fast to stand, often getting onto their feet within minutes of birth and moving with the herd soon after. The speed of this transition is astonishing when you think about what it means. The body must switch almost immediately from sheltered growth to coordinated motion under pressure. There is no long, hidden infancy in a secure den. The migration may continue, the herd may keep moving, and the calf must join a world already in motion. This is prey life in one of its purest forms. Vulnerability exists, but only briefly if everything goes well. From the first hour, survival depends on readiness, balance, and the urgent demand to keep up. Prairie dogs use different alarm calls for different kinds of danger. A prairie dog town can seem cheerful and busy, but beneath that activity lies a serious communication system built for survival. When danger appears, these animals do not always give one generic cry. Their alarm calls can vary in ways that convey meaningful information about the kind of threat involved. A hawk above creates a different problem from a coyote on the ground, and the colony responds best when the warning fits the danger. That means the call does more than announce fear. It helps shape behavior. Some individuals may dive instantly into burrows, while others remain alert for movement across the surface. Researchers studying prairie dogs have found evidence that their calls can carry surprisingly detailed distinctions. That makes the colony feel less like a loose gathering and more like a network linked by information. In a landscape where exposure is constant and cover is limited to tunnels below, survival depends not only on seeing danger, but on telling others exactly what kind of danger is coming. Vervet monkeys give distinct warnings for snakes, eagles, and leopards. In the lives of vervet monkeys, not all fear means the same thing. A leopard approaching through grass demands one response. An eagle descending from above demands another. A snake hidden nearby creates a third kind of emergency. These monkeys use alarm calls that differ according to the threat, and their group members react in correspondingly different ways. On hearing one call, they may race into trees. On hearing another, they may look up or dive into cover. On hearing the snake warning, they often search the ground carefully. This is remarkable because it shows communication tied closely to meaning in the outside world. The sound is not just panic spilling into the air, it directs action. For young monkeys, learning how to use and respond to these calls is part of learning how to stay alive. In a habitat filled with different hunters using different approaches, survival improves when information is not merely urgent, but specific enough to guide the right escape. Fish schools can turn together so fast, they look like one animal. Watch a school of fish under threat, and the change can seem impossible. One instant, the group drifts in loose formation. The next, it snaps into a new direction so quickly and so smoothly that it appears almost single-minded, as though hundreds of bodies were linked by one nervous system. This effect comes from each fish responding to the movements of close neighbors through vision and sensitive detection of water flow. No leader needs to command the turn. Information ripples through the group from fish to fish at extraordinary speed, and the whole school bends away from danger in a traveling wave of motion. That collective agility makes attack more difficult because the predator meets not isolated confusion, but coordinated escape. Timing is everything. A delay in one body could create a gap, and a gap could become a target. Instead, the score behaves like a fluid intelligence, where many small reactions combine into one sweeping maneuver that helps the entire group survive. Alarm pheromones can spread fear faster than a predator can move. Not every warning is seen or heard. For many small animals, danger travels through chemistry. When an individual is injured or attacked, it may release alarm substances into the water or air, and nearby members of the same species react almost immediately. Fish may tighten formation or dart for cover. Insects may scatter, freeze, or prepare defenses. The message moves as molecules, which means it can slip around obstacles and reach animals that never saw the attack happen. In some aquatic settings, this kind of signal can transform behavior across a whole patch of habitat in moments. One bite becomes a broadcast. That is extraordinary, because the predator may still be closing in physically while the warning is already spreading beyond it. The prey community is, in effect, reading the chemistry of violence. Fear becomes something shared through the environment itself. To us, the water may look calm and the air unchanged, yet for the animals inside that space, danger may already be everywhere. Some birds mob predators together instead of fleeing alone. When a hawk, owl, or other threat appears, escape is not always the chosen answer. Small birds often gather and harass the predator in a behavior known as mobbing. They swoop close, call loudly, and sometimes even strike or feint at the intruder from several directions at once. This seems risky, and it is, but the logic is powerful. A predator that depends on stealth or surprise loses much of its advantage once discovered. By drawing attention to it and making its position obvious to every nearby bird, the group can ruin the conditions needed for a successful hunt. The harassment may also push the predator to leave the area altogether. Mobbing works especially well when many individuals join in, because the danger to any one bird falls while the pressure on the intruder rises. It is a bold reversal of the usual relationship. For a few noisy minutes, the hunted become a coordinated force that makes the hunter unwelcome. Herds protect the middle, where the youngest are hardest to reach. Within a moving herd, position can mean the difference between safety and danger. The edges are where predators test, probe, and search for weakness. The center is harder to reach, screened by layers of older, stronger, or more experienced bodies. That is why the youngest often benefit from staying within the middle of the group. There, the simple geometry of numbers becomes a defense. A hunter trying to isolate a calf or foal must first create space, break cohesion, or force panic that opens a path inward. Until that happens, the outer ring of the herd absorbs much of the immediate risk. This arrangement is not perfectly orderly, and desperate attacks can still succeed, but the pattern is widespread because it works often enough to matter. Group living changes the landscape of danger inside the herd itself. Protection is not spread evenly. It concentrates toward the center, where vulnerability is buffered by the living barrier all around it. Many prey survive because information travels through the group like lightning. A predator may move fast, but information often moves faster. In a flock, herd, or school, one individual's reaction can trigger another almost instantly, and then another, until the whole group shifts before many members ever directly perceive the threat for themselves. This is one of the hidden superpowers of collective living. Survival does not depend only on each animal detecting danger alone. It depends on how quickly awareness can cascade across the many. A head lifts in alarm. A wing snaps open. A body jolts sideways. That small act becomes a signal, and the signal races outward through neighbors in a chain of response. The result can look almost magical, as if the entire group sensed the same thing at the same moment. What is really happening is rapid social transmission, a kind of borrowed perception. In the wild, that can be decisive. By the time the predator closes the gap, the group has already become harder to surprise, harder to isolate, and harder to catch. Parasites can turn predators into prey from the inside. Predation is usually imagined as teeth meeting flesh from the outside, but some of the most unsettling attacks begin within the body itself. Parasites enter, feed, grow, and sometimes alter the fate of animals far larger than themselves. A fish that swallows infected prey may become host to worms that steal nutrients and weaken it. A caterpillar may survive a wasp's egg only long enough to nourish the larvae, consuming it from inside. Even formidable hunters can be reduced this way. The relationship flips our instincts, because the large animal still looks powerful, while a quieter enemy is already taking control of its future. In ecological terms, parasites can regulate behavior, energy, reproduction, and survival across entire food webs. They remind us that being a predator does not guarantee safety. A body built to hunt can still become habitat. In that hidden contest, the victim may keep moving, feeding and fighting, long after the real attack has already begun. A wasp can control a spider long enough to steal its labor. Some parasitic wasps do something almost eerie. They do not simply kill a spider and use the body. They first use the spider as a living worker. In certain species, the wasp lays an egg on or inside the spider, and the growing larva releases chemicals that alter the host's behavior at just the right time. Instead of weaving its normal web, the spider builds a very different structure, one stronger and simpler, suited to support the wasp's cocoon. Only after that final construction is complete does the larva kill the spider and take over the web for its own protection. It is one of nature's strangest examples of behavioral manipulation, because the victim performs a task it would never normally choose. The spider's instincts are redirected into architecture for its enemy. What should have been a tool for catching prey becomes a scaffold for death. In this case, control matters more than speed, venom, or brute force. Some fungi hijack insects and kill them from a better position. Certain fungi do not merely infect insects and wait. They steer them. A spore lands on an ant or other host, enters the body, and gradually takes command of behavior in ways that serve the fungus rather than the insect. At a critical moment, the doomed animal leaves its usual route, climbs vegetation, and clamps itself in place. That location is not random. It often offers the right temperature, humidity, and height for the fungus to grow and release new spores onto the forest floor below. Only then does the host die, anchored exactly where the parasite needs it. From the outside, it looks like a tiny creature, making one last deliberate decision. In reality, the plan belongs to something else entirely. The fungus has turned a living insect into transport, positioning system, and launch platform. It is a chilling reminder that in nature, even the mind and movement of an animal can become tools used by another life form. Brood parasites exploit parental instincts instead of teeth and claws. Not every predator hunts by chasing or ambushing. Some exploit care itself. Brood parasites such as cuckoos lay their eggs in the nests of other birds and leave the foster parents to do the work. The hosts incubate the strange egg, feed the chick, and may continue doing so even when the young intruder grows larger than they are. In many cases, the parasite chick hatches early and gains a head start that lets it dominate the nest. The deception succeeds because it taps into a powerful instinct. a parent bird is primed to respond to begging calls, open mouths, and the cues of nest life. The parasite inserts itself into that system and converts care into stolen labor. It is a form of exploitation that feels almost impossible, yet it is widespread and highly successful. The victim is not overpowered by force. It is manipulated through devotion, feeding an invader because its own biology insists that the chick must be its own. Anglerfish hunt with a glowing lure that prey mistake for food. In the deep ocean, light is rare enough to become a language of temptation. Female anglerfish carry a modified spine projecting from the head, tipped with a fleshy lure that glows through the help of bioluminescent bacteria, or the fish's own chemistry, depending on the species. In darkness, that small point of light can resemble something edible, interesting, or alive enough to investigate. A smaller fish approaches, drawn toward what seems like opportunity, while the anglerfish remains nearly motionless nearby. Then, the mouth opens. It is enormous, sudden, and lined for gripping prey that strayed too close. This strategy is perfect for a habitat where active chasing can waste precious energy. Rather than searching widely, the predator turns curiosity against its victims. The deep sea rewards patience, and few hunters embody that better. What looks like a beacon of promise is really the final stage of a trap, going softly in a world where almost everything edible must be found by chance. Alligator snapping turtles lure fish by riddling a worm-like tongue. At the bottom of murky water, an alligator snapping turtle can look like a rough stone with a mouth. It stays still with jaws spread open, and on the floor of that mouth sits one of the most deceptive lures in freshwater. The tongue carries a pink, wriggling appendage that resembles a worm. Small fish drawn by the promise of an easy meal swim closer, focusing on the twitching bait rather than the massive head around it. Then the mouth snaps shut with explosive speed. This method is ambush refined to a remarkable degree. The turtle does not need to roam widely or chase through the water. It lets prey approach under false assumptions, turning feeding behavior against the feeder. The disguise is completed by camouflage because algae and texture help the animal blend into submerged surroundings. In effect, the turtle becomes scenery with a moving invitation at its center. The victim thinks it has found food. Instead, food has found it. Some orchids mimic female insects and trick males into dangerous visits. Deception does not belong only to animals. Some orchids manipulate insect behavior with astonishing precision by imitating the appearance and scent of female insects. A male bee or wasp approaches, convinced it has found a mate, and attempts to copulate with the flower. During that struggle, pollen attaches to the insect and may later be transferred to another orchid when the same mistake happens again. For the plant, this is a brilliant reproductive strategy. For the insect, it is a waste of time and energy, driven by one of the strongest instincts in nature. The danger lies in the wider world around that distraction. A male engrossed in the false signal may become less alert to real threats nearby, including predators waiting for inattentive prey around flowers. The orchid itself is not eating the insect, but it is still weaponizing desire to control movement. It is one more example of how survival can depend on manipulating perception rather than overpowering a body. Fireflies use false mating flashes to lure and eat other fireflies. To most of us, firefly flashes seem like harmless signals of summer, tiny lanterns drifting through warm air. For some species, those signals are part of a lethal trick. Females in the genus Furturis can imitate the flash patterns of females from other firefly species. Males respond, believing they are approaching a potential mate, and fly in expecting reproduction. What they find instead is a predator. The deceiving female captures and eats them, turning courtship into an ambush. The strategy is remarkable because it depends on precise imitation of communication rather than physical disguise. The hunter speaks the right visual language and lets the victim complete the rest of the story in its own mind. There is another twist. By consuming certain prey fireflies, these females may also acquire defensive chemicals that help protect them from predators. So the trek provides both food and protection. A signal meant to promise life becomes the path to death. Predation is not always a chase. Sometimes it is a deception. When people picture predation, they often imagine speed, claws, impact, and panic. Yet many successful hunters win before the victim even realizes a hunt has begun. A lure, a false signal, a convincing disguise, or a manipulated instinct can replace the need for a long pursuit. The prey approaches willingly, follows the wrong cue, or reacts in exactly the way the predator hoped. This changes the whole emotional structure of the encounter. Instead of terror first and capture second, there may be curiosity first, confidence first, even desire first. Then, suddenly, the truth. Nature is full of these quieter traps because they can be efficient. Chases are costly. Ambush and deception can reduce the need for speed while increasing the chance of success. In that sense, intelligence in nature is not always conscious planning. Sometimes it is evolutionary design that exploits predictable behavior. The victim is not defeated by force alone. It is defeated by a story it believed. Nature often rewards the animal that can manipulate another mind. The living world is not shaped only by strength and speed. It is also shaped by influence. A predator that can alter what another animal notices, fears, wants, or expects may gain an enormous advantage. That manipulation can take many forms. A lure can create curiosity. A false courtship signal can summon prey. A parasite can redirect behavior from within. Even warning displays and startle patterns work by steering the decisions of another creature at a critical moment. In each case, the real contest happens in perception. One animal changes the mental state of another, and that shift decides what happens next. This is part of why predator and prey relationships can feel so astonishing. They are not only physical contests, they are battles over attention, instinct, and interpretation. Evolution repeatedly favors organisms that can get inside the decision-making of others without ever touching a brain directly. In the end, survival often belongs to the creature that best controls what another one believes. Venom lets small predators bring down prey much larger than themselves. Size is not always the final word in a hunt. Venom allows a comparatively small predator to solve a problem that muscle alone could never solve. Instead of overpowering prey through strength, the hunter delivers chemistry that disrupts nerves, blood, muscles, or pain itself. A spider can subdue an insect that would be difficult to wrestle safely. A venomous snake can strike, withdraw, and let the toxin begin its work while the victim weakens. This changes the whole mathematics of predation. The predator does not need to win a long physical contest if a precise bite can start a process that tips the balance. Venom also reduces risk. Large prey can kick, bite, or struggle hard enough to injure the hunter, so using toxins can make the encounter safer as well as more effective. In nature, this is one of the great equalizers. A body that seems too small for the task can still succeed because chemistry extends its reach far beyond raw force. Cone snails fire harpoons that turn fish into drifting targets. A cone snail looks almost absurdly gentle, little more than a patterned shell gliding slowly across the sea floor. Yet hidden inside is one of the most sophisticated weapons in the animal kingdom. The snail uses a modified tooth shaped like a tiny harpoon, which it fires with startling speed into passing prey. Venom follows through the hollow structure and can act with terrifying efficiency, stunning or paralyzing small fish before they can flee. Some species even release compounds into the water that disrupt the prey's normal escape responses, making the target easier to hit in the first place. Then the snail extends its flexible mouthparts and swallows the fish whole. It is a remarkable mismatch between appearance and ability. A creature that seems too slow to catch anything fast is actually armed for sudden ambush through chemistry and precision. In that quiet shell lies a hunter whose method feels less like pursuit and more like a hidden spring trap. Komodo dragons track wounded prey with astonishing patience. A Komodo dragon does not need to win everything in the first attack. Its approach can be brutal, but it can also be patient. When it bites a deer, pig, or other large prey, the damage may include deep tearing wounds, blood loss, and the delivery of venomous compounds that contribute to shock and collapse. If the animal escapes the first encounter, the dragon may continue following the trail over time, using its forked tongue to sample scent particles and read the path ahead. This is what makes the strategy so unsettling. The prey may be running, but the hunt is not over. Each step can carry it further into weakness, while the predator keeps gathering information and waiting for the right moment to close in again. There is no rush when the body of the victim is already beginning to fail. In this kind of predation, endurance matters as much as violence. The dragon lets injury become part of the pursuit itself. Orb-weaving spiders build traps that hunt while they wait. An orb web is not just a net. It is an engineered hunting device shaped by tension, geometry, and material precision. The spider places strong support lines first, then lays out radiating spokes and a spiral capture thread coated with adhesive droplets. When the structure is complete, it can intercept insects the spider never had to chase. Flying prey collides with the web. Momentum carries it deeper into the sticky strands, and every struggle often makes escape harder. The spider, waiting nearby or at the center, reads the vibrations through the silk and learns where the impact happened, how large the catch may be, and whether it is worth rushing toward. Different species tune their webs for different habitats and prey types, adjusting spacing, angle, and placement to fit the traffic of the air around them. What looks delicate in morning dew is really a predatory machine built from protein and patience, a structure that hunts continuously, even while its maker remains almost still. Swordfish slash through schools to wound more prey than one strike. A swordfish does not always use its bill like a spear. Often it uses it more like a blade. When it charges into a dense school of fish, it may swing or slash with the long rostrum, stunning, injuring, or disorienting several animals in a single pass. This is a clever solution to a difficult problem. In a tightly packed school, individual prey are hard to isolate and can twist away with the group in an instant. By turning the attack into a sweeping cut, the predator increases the odds that at least one fish will be slowed or wounded enough to capture afterward. It is less about pinning one target perfectly and more about creating opportunity in a crowd. The physics of the strike matter as much as the anatomy. Momentum, reach, and the narrow shape of the bill all help convert forward movement into a disruptive blow. In open water, one weaponized slash can transform confusion into dinner. Orcas create waves to wash seals off floating ice. Among the most dramatic hunting strategies in the sea is the way some orcas target seals resting on ice. Instead of relying on one sudden grab, several whales may work together to generate a surge. They swim in coordinated formation, pushing water toward the flow so that a wave breaks over it or destabilizes it enough to slide the seal into the water. Once the prey loses the safety of the ice, the balance of power changes instantly. What makes this so extraordinary is the planning involved. The attack depends on timing, spacing, and cooperation, because one whale alone may not create the same effect. It is a form of hunting that uses the environment itself as part of the weapon. Ice becomes a platform to undermine, not a barrier to overcome directly. For the seal, the danger comes not only from teeth below, but from water shaped into a tool. It is teamwork turned into fluid force. Some dolphins hunt with mud rings that trap fish in panic. In shallow water, certain bottlenose dolphins use a strategy so inventive, it seems almost designed. One dolphin circles a patch of fish while beating its tail against the bottom, kicking up a ring of mud that rises like a wall around the prey. The fish, startled and boxed in by this sudden barrier, often leap out of the water to escape what they perceive as closing danger. That is exactly the mistake the dolphins are waiting for. Other members of the group position themselves nearby and snatch the fish as they burst into the air. The brilliance of the method lies in how it manipulates the prey's own escape decision. The fish are not chased down one by one in open pursuit. They are steered into a panic response that delivers them into waiting mouths. Hunting here becomes choreography. Sediment, motion, and social timing combine into a trap that exists for only a few moments, then vanishes back into ordinary water. Antlion larvae build pits that turn loose sand into a weapon. An antlion larva hides at the bottom of a funnel-shaped pit it has carved into dry sand, and the trap works because the ground itself has been engineered to fail. The steep slopes are unstable, so when an ant or other small insect wanders too close and slips downward, the loose grains collapse beneath it. Climbing out becomes extremely difficult. If the prey struggles upward, the larva flicks more sand with its head, sending miniature avalanches that drag the victim back toward the center. This is what makes the pit so effective. The hunter is not simply waiting in a hole. It has transformed the terrain into part of its body plan, making gravity and unstable footing do much of the work. To the prey, the danger begins as a harmless step on ordinary ground. A moment later, the surface becomes a trapdoor of sliding grains. In miniature, it is one of nature's finest examples of architecture turned into predation. Trapjaw ants strike so fast their jaws can launch them backward. Trapjaw ants carry one of the fastest mechanical systems known in animals. Their mandibles open wide and lock into place, storing energy in the exoskeleton and muscles like a spring under tension. When sensory hairs near the jaws are triggered, the latch releases and the mandibles snap shut with explosive speed. That strike can seize prey, crush small targets, or drive off enemies in an instant. Yet the force is so great that it has another use as well. In some situations, the ant can snap its jaws against the ground and launch itself backward into the air, escaping danger in a tiny ballistic leap. This makes the weapon both offensive and defensive, useful for hunting and for sudden retreat. It is astonishing to see such sophisticated mechanics in such a small body. The ant does not rely on size to dominate its world. It relies on stored energy, timing, and one of the fastest moving body parts in nature. Predators succeed with claws, glue, venom, teamwork, patience, and physics. There is no single recipe for becoming a successful hunter. Nature has explored almost every possibility. Some predators grip with claws or teeth. Others use adhesive silk, sticky tongues, or suction. Some rely on venom that weakens prey from within, while others depend on coordinated groups that can trap, herd, or overwhelm animals too difficult to subdue alone. Patience may matter more than speed, especially for ambush hunters that let timing replace exertion. Physics appears everywhere as well. Momentum powers a slash, leverage powers a bite, unstable sand becomes a trap, and a pressure wave becomes a weapon. What is so fascinating is that all of these solutions answer the same ancient challenge in wildly different ways. The prey must be found, reached, controlled, and eaten. but evolution keeps inventing new paths to that outcome. Predation is not one behavior repeated across species. It is an enormous library of strategies, each one revealing a different way life solves the problem of survival. Prey can force predators to evolve sharper senses and faster bodies. A predator does not improve in isolation. Every gain is measured against prey that are also getting harder to catch. If hoofed animals become quicker to detect movement, hunters that hear better or approach more quietly gain the advantage. If fish become better at darting through complex reefs, predators with tighter turning ability and quicker strike timing are favored. Over long stretches of evolution, prey act like moving targets for natural selection, constantly raising the standard a hunter must meet. This is why so many predators seem astonishingly refined. Their eyes, ears, muscles, and reflexes were not polished for show. They were shaped by generations of missed chances. The prey that escaped changed the future of the hunter. In that sense, every successful evasion leaves a mark beyond the moment itself. It helps decide which predators will pass on their traits. The hunted are not passive passengers in evolution. They help build the bodies and senses of those that pursue them. Predators can force prey to evolve armor, toxins, and vigilance. Danger does not only remove the slow or unlucky. Over time, it can reshape entire species. When predators keep finding and killing vulnerable individuals, any trait that improves survival has a chance to spread. That pressure can produce thick shells, protective spines, toxic skin, tougher hides, sharper hearing, more alert sleep, and nervous systems primed for instant reaction. Some prey become chemically dangerous. Others become physically difficult to bite, swallow, or break open. Still others invest in caution itself, feeding at safer hours, giving warning calls, or remaining restless in exposed places. These traits may carry costs. Armor is heavy. Toxins require energy. Vigilance steals time from eating and resting. Even so, the cost of lacking them can be far greater. Predators are among the great sculptors of defensive life. They do not simply consume prey. They help determine what kind of prey can continue existing in a world where being edible is one of the most serious problems any organism can face. This constant pressure is why evolution rarely stands still for long. When one species changes, it can force change in another, and that is why the natural world keeps moving. A slightly faster prey animal is not just one faster animal. It is a new challenge placed in front of every predator that depends on catching it. A more accurate hunter is not just a better hunter. It is a new danger shaping the future of every prey population under its reach. Because each side alters the selective landscape for the other, stability is often temporary. Evolution does not need a grand plan to create this motion. It only needs heritable variation and unequal survival. Over enough generations, that is more than enough to keep traits shifting. Some changes are dramatic and visible, while others happen in physiology, timing, or behavior that outsiders barely notice. Yet the pressure remains. Life keeps adapting because other life keeps adapting too. Predator and prey relationships are one of the clearest reasons the living world so often feels unfinished, dynamic, and forever mid-conversation. Even plants live with predation and build chemical defenses against it. Plants may seem passive beside animals, but they are under attack constantly. Leaves are bitten, stems are pierced, roots are chewed, and seeds are stolen by herbivores that feed with enormous persistence. Because plants cannot run, many defend themselves with chemistry. They fill tissues with bitter compounds, digestion-disrupting molecules, irritants, or outright toxins that make feeding costly or dangerous. Some toughen their leaves. Some coat surfaces with hairs or waxes. Others release airborne chemicals when damaged, which can warn neighboring plants or attract predators and parasites of the herbivores doing the eating. In this way, the plant world is deeply involved in the same broad struggle between consumer and consumed. A caterpillar chewing a leaf is still part of a predatory relationship, even if it feels gentler than a lion taking an antelope. The leaf is not defenseless food. It is the front line of a slower battle, where survival depends on chemistry, timing, and the ability to make being eaten less rewarding. Some herbivores disarm plant toxins and become poisonous themselves. One of evolution's cleverest moves is turning an enemy's weapon into your own defense. Some herbivores feed on toxic plants not because they are immune to all danger, but because they have evolved ways to tolerate, store, or modify the chemicals. Monarch caterpillars are the classic example, feeding on milkweed and retaining compounds that make the caterpillars and later the butterflies distasteful to many predators. Other animals perform similar feats with different plants and toxins, gaining protection by borrowing chemistry from what they consume. This transforms the food chain in a fascinating way. The plant built those compounds to discourage attack, yet a specialized feeder can convert them into a warning sign carried in its own body. Bright coloration often follows, advertising that the meal may be a mistake. It is a striking reminder that defensive chemistry does not always stay where it started. In nature, a poison can change hands, moving upward through the food web and reshaping who dares to eat whom. Eye spots, shells, horns, and speed all carry the memory of danger. Many defensive traits can be read like old scars left by ancient pressure. A shell tells of teeth and crushing jaws. Horns suggest battles with attackers that came close enough to be driven off or injured. Eye spots on wings or skin hint at predators that hesitated when faced with sudden false signals. Great speed speaks of open spaces where outrunning danger was often the difference between life and death. These features are useful now, but they also preserve the history of what once threatened survival often enough to shape inheritance. In that sense, the body is a memory device, written not with thoughts, but with selection. Evolution remembers by keeping what worked. We can look at an animal and sometimes glutes the kinds of dangers that helped create it, even when the exact enemies have changed or vanished. The defensive body is never random ornament. It is history made visible, a record of fear translated into anatomy across deep time. Many animals are both predator and prey at different life stages. Nature does not hand out a single rule at birth and keep it fixed forever. Many creatures move through very different relationships with danger as they grow. A tiny fish larva may spend its early life avoiding almost everything around it, then later become a hunter of smaller animals once its body and jaws mature. Young frogs begin in water where they are vulnerable to insects, fish, and other aquatic threats, then emerge into a different world with new prey and new predators. Even large animals may start life as easy targets and only later gain the size, speed, or weaponry that lets them turn outward. This shifting identity makes food webs more fluid than they first appear. The same species can occupy different places in the chain of pursuit and escape depending on age, size, and environment. That means development is not only about getting bigger, it is also about changing one's place in the struggle, sometimes from hunted to hunter within a single lifetime. Tadpoles may be hunted early, then become hunters as adults. A tadpole often begins life as a soft, vulnerable creature in water filled with danger. Fish, aquatic insects, beetle larvae, and other predators may all view it as an easy meal. At that stage, survival depends on concealment, rapid growth, staying near cover, or developing in ponds where fewer threats are present. Then metamorphosis rewrites everything. Legs form, the tail shrinks, lungs take over, and the animal that leaves the water may become an active predator of insects and other small prey. The transformation is so profound that it can feel like one ecological story turning into another. The same individual that once drifted under constant threat may end up stalking among leaves at night, using sticky tongue strikes to capture living food. Few life histories show the shifting balance of predator and prey more clearly. A frog does not merely mature. It changes worlds, changes body plans, and changes its position in the ancient exchange between being hunted and hunting. Size can flip the relationship between predator and prey in days. In many young animals, growth is not just about strength. It changes who can eat whom. A fish that is vulnerable when tiny may become difficult to swallow after only a short period of rapid development. A spiderling that could once be taken by almost any larger arthropod may soon become the danger instead. In temporary ponds, insects and amphibians often race through growth because a few days can transform the food web around them. The small body that once had to hide becomes the larger body others must avoid. This matters because predation is often strongly shaped by mouth size, handling ability, and the physics of capture. Crossing a certain threshold can move an animal out of one risk category and into another. The world has not changed, but the body has. That shift can happen surprisingly fast, especially in species adapted for rapid early growth. In nature, a brief stretch of time can completely reverse the direction of danger. Nature does not divide life neatly into hunter and hunted. The closer you look, the less tidy the categories become. A bird may eat insects and still be taken by a hawk. A frog may consume flies and still be swallowed by a snake. A spider may trap moths and then fall victim to a wasp. Even top predators are vulnerable when young, injured, starving, or exposed to parasites and disease. This layered reality means the natural world is not arranged into simple ranks of winners and losers. It is a web of overlapping roles where many species hunt in one context and flee in another. That complexity matters because it reveals something profound about evolution. Adaptations are not built for permanent superiority. They are built for specific situations, specific habitats, and specific dangers. An organism can be powerful in one encounter and helpless in the next. Predator and prey are not always separate identities. Often they are alternating conditions of life, shifting with age, size, circumstance, and the presence of something even more dangerous nearby. Removing top predators can unleash prey populations and remake ecosystems. When a top predator disappears, the effect can travel far beyond the missing animal itself. Prey that were once limited by danger or direct killing may increase in number, spread into new areas, or feed with less restraint. At first, that can sound like a simple gain for the prey. In practice, it can ripple through an entire landscape. More browsing animals may strip young plants before they mature. More seed-eating animals may reduce what grows next season. More medium-sized predators may also rise if larger hunters are gone, putting fresh pressure on smaller prey. Ecologists call some of these chain reactions trophic cascades, but the underlying idea is wonderfully vivid. Remove one powerful influence and the whole system starts behaving differently. A predator is not just another mouth in the food web. It can be a regulator of movement, abundance, and opportunity. Once that pressure is lifted, the ecosystem may begin to reorganize itself in surprising and sometimes dramatic ways. Sea otters protect kelp forests by keeping urchin numbers in check. A kelp forest can feel like an underwater woodland, tall fronds rising toward the light while fish, invertebrates, and marine mammals move through the stems. Sea otters help keep that world standing. They feed heavily on sea urchins, which graze on kelp holdfasts and can devastate whole forests when their numbers grow too high. Without enough otters, urchins may spread across the seafloor and chew through the anchors that keep kelp attached. The result can be an urchin barren. a place where the great underwater canopy has largely vanished. With otters present, many of those grazing pressures are reduced, and the kelp has a better chance to flourish. That matters not only for the plants themselves, but for all the life the forest shelters. Fish gain habitat. Countless small animals find food and refuge. One furry predator floating on its back may look relaxed, yet it is also helping preserve one of the richest marine environments on Earth. Wolves changed rivers in Yellowstone by changing where elk felt safe. One of the most famous ecological stories in recent decades began with the return of wolves to Yellowstone. Their presence did not just affect elk through direct predation. It also changed elk behavior. In some places, especially certain valleys and streamside areas, the risk of wolf encounters altered where elk spent time feeding and resting. That shift helped some trees and shrubs recover in locations that had experienced heavy browsing. As woody vegetation increased, stream banks in some areas gained more stability and shading, and habitat conditions changed for other species as well. The story is sometimes told too simply, as though wolves alone reshaped every river in a straight line, and scientists continue to debate the scale and details of different effects. Even so, the broader lesson remains powerful. Predators can influence ecosystems by changing how prey use space. Fear can redirect grazing, and redirected grazing can reach all the way to water, soil, and living communities along the banks. Fear alone can reshape grazing, nesting, feeding, and migration. A predator does not need to make a kill to have an effect. Sometimes the possibility of attack is enough. Prey animals often change where they feed, how long they remain exposed, when they move, and where they raise young based on perceived danger. A meadow rich in food may go lightly grazed if hunters often patrol there. A shoreline full of nesting opportunities may be avoided if predators can approach too easily. Migration routes can shift towards safer corridors, even if those paths are longer or less productive. This means fear is not simply an emotion in the wild. It is a force that redistributes life across a landscape. The consequences can be surprisingly large. Plants may grow more in avoided areas. Competitors may benefit where risky species withdraw. The shape of daily life changes because danger changes the map. In that sense, predators influence ecosystems with shadows as well as teeth. The threat of being eaten can alter the world before any eating happens. Predators often protect plant life by limiting hungry mouths. It can seem strange to say a carnivore helps a forest or grassland, yet that can be exactly what happens. Herbivores consume enormous amounts of plant material, and if their numbers or feeding pressure rise too high, young trees, shrubs, grasses, and even underwater vegetation can struggle to recover. Predators help check that pressure by removing some herbivores and by making others feed more cautiously. This can give plants time and space to grow, flower, seed, and reshape habitat for many other species. In some systems, the effect is dramatic enough to influence whether woodland expands or retreats, whether streamside vegetation survives, or whether the ground remains covered or stripped bare. The relationship is indirect, but deeply important. A hunting cat, wolf, shark, or otter may never touch a plant, yet it can still become one of the plant's most effective allies. In nature, protection does not always come from what eats the leaf. Sometimes it comes from what eats the leaf eater. Prey abundance can determine whether predators breed, roam, or starve. A predator's life is often written by the availability of prey. When food is abundant, adults may enter breeding condition, raise more young, defend stable territories, and spend less time traveling in risky search. When prey declines, everything can change. Animals may roam farther, delay breeding, abandon territories, or produce fewer surviving offspring. In harsh cases, they may starve outright, and populations can crash. This dependence means the hunter is never fully in control of its own success. A powerful body and sharp senses matter, but they cannot conjure food from an empty landscape. Lynx and snowshoe hare cycles offer a classic example of how tightly linked predator and prey numbers can become over time. As hares rise, lynx often follow. As hares fall, lynx usually suffer later. Similar patterns appear across many ecosystems in different forms. The drama of the hunt may capture attention, but behind it lies a quieter truth. Predators live at the mercy of what they can find. The same animal can be harmless in one habitat and devastating in another. A predator evolved within one ecosystem is often balanced by prey defenses, competitors, diseases, and the physical limits of that place. Move the same animal somewhere new, and the outcome can change dramatically. In its original home, it may be just one participant among many, taking a normal share of prey without overwhelming the system. In a different habitat, it might encounter animals with no effective defenses, few escape routes, or breeding patterns that cannot withstand the new pressure. Then a species that once seemed ordinary becomes devastating. This is one reason ecological context matters so much. There is no such thing as a universally harmless or universally disastrous predator. The effect depends on who else is present, what traits evolved together, and what checks already exist. A cat, snake, fox, or fish may be one thread in a familiar web at home, then become a tearing force elsewhere. The body is the same. The relationships around it are not. Invasive predators often win because local prey never learned their tricks. When a new predator arrives in a place where prey have no shared evolutionary history with it, the usual balance can be badly disrupted. Local animals may fail to recognize the danger, respond too slowly, choose the wrong escape tactic, or continue nesting and feeding in ways that would have been safe only against older, familiar threats. The predator does not need to be stronger than everything around it. It only needs to be unfamiliar enough to exploit those gaps in awareness. This is why invasive predators can cause such severe damage so quickly. The prey are not merely outmatched in the moment. They are starting from the wrong script. A ground-nesting bird may not treat a newly introduced mammal as an urgent threat. A small fish may not recognize the hunting style of an outsider until it is too late. Evolution normally teaches caution over generations. Invasion bypasses that slow lesson, and the cost is often paid by species that never had time to adapt. Island birds are especially vulnerable when predators arrive from elsewhere. Islands often produce some of the most unusual and vulnerable prey on Earth. Over long periods of isolation, many island birds evolved with few or no mammalian predators. Some nested on the ground. Some became tame around danger. Some lost strong flight ability because there was little reason to spend energy maintaining it. Those traits made sense in the world that shaped them. Then humans arrived, often bringing rats, cats, pigs, dogs, or snakes. Suddenly, the old rules no longer applied. Eggs, chicks, and even adult birds faced hunters they were poorly equipped to avoid. Because island populations are often small and geographically restricted, losses can accumulate with frightening speed. Entire species have vanished this way. It is one of the clearest examples of how predator and prey relationships are built over time, and how fragile that balance can be when a new player appears. On islands, innocence can be ridden into behavior, and invasion can punish it brutally. Predator and prey together help hold ecosystems in moving balance. Balance in nature is not stillness. It is movement held within certain bounds by countless interactions, and predator-prey relationships are among the most important of those interactions. Predators influence which animals thrive, where they move, and how boldly they feed. Prey influence which predators can persist, how many young they raise, and where hunting pressure is strongest. Plants, Scavengers, parasites, decomposers, and whole habitats are drawn into the consequences. The result is not a perfect equilibrium when nothing changes. It is a shifting balance, always adjusting as seasons turn, populations rise and fall, and new pressures enter the system. This is part of what makes ecosystems feel so alive. Stability does not come from one side winning. It comes from the continued tension between pursuit and escape, abundance and limitation, risk and opportunity. Predator and prey are not opposing stories. They are interlocking forces, helping shape the living world by constantly reshaping one another. Some prehistoric prey evolved armor that rivaled tanks in complexity. Long before humans imagined platted vehicles, prehistoric animals were already solving the problem of being bitten, crushed, or torn apart. Ancient seas and later ancient land ecosystems produced prey wrapped in extraordinary defenses. Early arthropods carried hard exoskeletons that turned soft bodies into fortified packages. Later, armored fish developed bony plates across the head and front of the body, creating living shields against attack. Much later still, some dinosaurs, such as ankylosaurs, took protection to an astonishing extreme, covering themselves in osteoderms and supporting that armor with a body built low and heavy to resist assault. This was not decoration. Armor changes the predator's calculation. It can force attacks towards smaller exposed areas, increase handling time, and make injury more likely for the attacker. The result is an evolutionary contest written into fossils. When we see prehistoric armor, we are looking at the long memory of danger, preserved in bone and shell across vanished worlds. Saber-toothed predators targeted weakness, not just size. Saber-toothed hunters are often imagined charging straight at the biggest animals they could find, but their success likely depended on precision more than reckless force. Their famous teeth were impressive, yet also vulnerable to damage if used badly. That suggests a strategy focused on exploiting openings rather than simply wrestling the largest prey into submission. A sick animal, a trapped one, a juvenile, or an adult separated from protection may have offered the best chance. Some saber-toothed cats had powerful forelimbs that could help pin prey and control the body before delivering a careful bite to softer regions. In that sense, they were not just equipped for killing. They were equipped for choosing the right moment. Fossils tell us they lived among huge herbivores, but that does not mean every encounter was a frontal contest of mass against mass. As in many predators today, success may have depended on reading weakness, timing the attack, and avoiding costly mistakes. Trilobites, fish, and ancient arthropods were already locked in this struggle. The contest between hunter and hunted reaches so far back that some of its earliest chapters unfolded in seas almost unimaginably ancient. Trilobites crawled across the seafloor, while other arthropods, early fish, and strange soft-bodied creatures searched, fed, hid, and struck around them. These worlds were not simple gardens of primitive life. They were already places of danger. Shells thickened. Spines appeared. Eyes became more capable. Mouthparts and grasping appendages grew more effective. The Cambrian and later Paleozoic oceans were filled with organisms responding to each other in ways that helped drive rapid innovation. Even when the bodies look alien to us, the underlying drama feels familiar. One creature tries to avoid detection, another tries to overcome defenses, and both shape what the future will favor. The ancient fossil beds are full of that pressure. Predator and prey are not a late development in Earth's story. They are part of its deep biological foundation. The fossil record preserves bite marks, chase scenes, and failed attacks. Fossils can seem still and silent, yet some capture moments of violence with startling immediacy. A bone marked by tooth grooves may reveal where a predator fed or where scavengers arrived later. A shell repaired after damage can show that an attack failed and the victim lived on. Trilobites and other ancient animals sometimes preserve injuries that healed, which means something tried and did not quite succeed. In rare cases, entire scenes are frozen in stone, with one creature apparently grasping another, or tracks suggesting pursuit across soft ground that later hardened into rock. These traces matter because they let scientists glimpse behavior, not just anatomy. A jaw tells us what an animal might have done. A wound tells us what actually happened at least once. The fossil record is incomplete, but when it preserves these interactions, it becomes wonderfully vivid. It stops being a museum of bodies and becomes evidence of fear, struggle, escape, and the constant gamble of survival. Even dinosaurs lived inside a world shaped by stalking and escape. It is easy to imagine dinosaurs as symbols of size and power, but they too lived within the constant pressure of pursuit and evasion. Herding plant eaters had to watch for carnivores, protect their young, and move through landscapes where danger could appear from cover or from a distance. Theropod predators, meanwhile, needed enough speed, strength, balance, and sensory ability to find opportunities without wasting energy or courting injury. Fossils hint at this world in many ways. Some dinosaurs carried armor. Some had horns, clubs, or thickened hides. Others had long legs suited to movement across open ground. Even nests and nesting colonies suggest a life shaped by risk, because eggs and hatchlings would have been vulnerable to many hungry mouths. A dinosaur ecosystem was not only about giants towering over one another. It was also about timing, caution, and constant selection. However strange those worlds looked to us, they were still organized by one ancient question: who detects whom first? Humans became super predators, yet we still carry prey instincts. Humans learned to hunt with unusual flexibility. We used tools, fire, cooperation, planning, and eventually weapons powerful enough to reach far beyond the limits of teeth or claws. In that sense, our species became an extraordinary predator. Yet our minds and bodies still carry much older patterns shaped by vulnerability. We startle at sudden sounds. We flinch at fast movement in the corner of vision. We are uneasy in darkness when we cannot see what surrounds us. These reactions are not signs that humans failed to become powerful. They are reminders that evolution layers new abilities over old foundations. For most of our history, people were not invulnerable beings standing outside food webs. Children, isolated adults, and even groups could face serious danger from other predators and from one another. The modern world can hide that memory, but it has not erased it. The hunter's intelligence grew in a nervous system already trained by the possibility of being hunted. Goosebumps, startle responses, and night fears echo ancient survival systems. Many of the odd little reactions humans experience today make more sense when seen as remnants of older survival machinery. Goosebumps, for example, are a weak version of a response that once raised body hair, helping our ancestors look slightly larger or improve insulation. The startle response is even more revealing. A sudden sound or unexpected movement can send the whole body into instant readiness before thought catches up. Muscles tighten, attention narrows, and the nervous system prepares for urgent action. Fear of darkness may also have deep roots, because night once limited vision while increasing uncertainty about what might be nearby. None of this means every human fear is ancient or fixed, but many common reactions were shaped in worlds where hesitation could be costly. These systems are fast because they were built for emergency, not careful reflection. Even in safe rooms and lit cities, the body still carries old alarms, echoing environments where unseen danger was often real. Your brain notices sudden movement because your ancestors needed that alarm. A flicker at the edge of vision can seize attention almost before you know why. That quick response is not accidental. In natural settings, sudden movement often mattered urgently. It could signal a stalking predator breaking cover, prey darting away, a rival approaching, or danger unfolding too quickly for slow reasoning. Brains that prioritized such cues had a clear advantage, because early detection could mean the difference between acting in time and acting too late. Human attention is still biased by that history. We are drawn toward motion even when it is irrelevant, which is why a small shift in a quiet room can feel impossible to ignore. This can sometimes seem inconvenient in modern life, but it reflects a powerful ancestral rule. Movement may mean change, and change may mean danger or opportunity. The world trained nervous systems to care about that instantly. Long before screens and traffic, the edge of vision was already a place where survival waited for a reaction. Predator and prey never truly disappear. They change roles and tools. The ancient contest does not vanish as life changes. It keeps reinventing itself. Fangs may give way to toxins, talons to traps, ambush to deception, and running battles to chemical warfare or invisible infection. New environments create new strategies, yet the same underlying relationship remains. One organism depends on consuming another, while the other evolves ways to avoid that fate. Even within a single lineage, the tools can change dramatically over time. Ancient armored fish disappear, but shells, spines, and toxins remain in other forms. Giant reptilian hunters vanish, yet birds, mammals, fishes, insects, and parasites continue the same broad exchange with different bodies and abilities. This is why predator and prey feel so fundamental to life. They are not temporary characters in one ecological era. They are recurring roles that keep being rewritten. The details evolve, the cast changes, but the tension between pursuit and escape is carried forward into every new chapter of the living world. The story of life is, in part, the story of pursuit. Again and again across Earth's history, living things have been shaped by the need to catch, avoid, detect, deceive, endure, or escape. That does not mean life is only violence. It also includes cooperation, care, courtship, growth, beauty, and astonishing creativity. Yet pursuit runs through it like a deep current. It helped shape eyes that watch, muscles that spring, shells that shield, calls that warn, and brains that decide in an instant whether to stay or flee. Predator and prey are not side notes in the history of evolution. They are among its great authors. Their interaction has molded bodies, behaviors, ecosystems, and even the hidden fears and reflexes that still live inside us. When we look at the natural world, we're seeing countless solutions to the same recurring challenge. How do you survive in a place where something needs what you are, or where you must find something before you become it? That is one of life's oldest stories. Tonight, we wandered through one of the oldest stories ever written into life on Earth. From the silent wings of owls to the dazzling confusion of zebra herds, from venom-tipped fangs to shimmering schools of fish, we explored the endless conversation between predator and prey. Across forests, oceans, deserts, and ancient fossil beds, life has been shaped by that delicate balance between pursuit and escape. We saw how prey evolved speed, armor, camouflage, warning colors, and remarkable teamwork. We saw how predators answer with sharper senses, clever traps, patient ambushes, and strategies that sometimes feel almost like intelligence itself. Even plants, insects, and fungi take part in this ancient contest. Every rustle in the grass, every flash of wings, every ripple in dark water carries a quiet question. Who will notice first? Who will move first? Who will survive this moment? And yet, when you step back, the struggle forms something beautiful. It shapes ecosystems, forests, rivers, coral reefs, and open plains. It keeps life in motion, always adjusting, always responding. Hunter and hunted together weave the living world into a dynamic and ever-changing balance. Now the story can soften. Let the forests grow quiet in your mind. Let the ocean darken into calm water beneath a moonlit sky. The animals that ran, stalked, leapt, and hid can settle back into the rhythm of the night. If you enjoyed this journey, feel free to like the video, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps this little corner of sleepy science reach other curious minds out there. And if you happen to still be awake, you may see another gentle adventure waiting on your screen. But for now, simply rest. Sleep well, and good night.